Jinx, every night at 7 on You.
That's right, it's time for the Lou Review, your favourite, my least favourite.
It's the best theme in the world of any show that there's ever been, except Golden Girls, because that's a classic. But mine's number 2.
Okay, it's a very interesting ranking system you've got there. Welcome along, Tim Batt.
Nice to see you again, Guy
Nice
Montgomery.
to see you wearing...
Excellent to see you, Timothy Lambert.
Tim, absolute pleasure.
How do you do?
Full clothes. Little worried that it looks a lot like what they put criminals in when they appear in the dock.
Quite loud.
It's quite loud, yeah, I apologise.
You didn't get it from court, did you?
Look at that.
Is this
See, it's stylish and functional.
You haven't been to court?
functional?
You haven't been to court? Just confirm.
This, yeah, you haven't
Not
been to court.
court.
You've been in Wellington.
Yeah, man.
Is this what brought on the outfit? The old bloody windy
it's-
Wellington?
Yeah, well, it's like there's wet weather everywhere, so I traded what I was wearing before for this.
Life is just like a buy, sell and exchange for you, isn't it?
It is when you hang out with the people I do. It's a fun time and you meet interesting people. I had a taxi ride from a gentleman today who was a security guard in Sydney and told me that he has killed people for money.
Wow.
That's...
No lie. So, Wellington was fantastic.
Did he give you that?
And
Did he get
also,
that from court?
my parents on a particular show, which I think contractually I'm not allowed to mention on this show, but I would like to say those people who started that hashtag that time, you know who you are. We won, baby. You and me. We made it. So thanks.
Great.
Hey, who wants a review?
Everyone in New Zealand wants a review. Before we go into that, how did you enjoy your time in Wellington? You've been down there before?
It was fine.
Just fine? What's wrong?
What happened?
What's wrong?
It was
You're
all good.
a positive guy.
Well, usually you'd say something like, oh, it was really great, I met this interesting guy and he gave me a pimp cane or something cool, but it was just, you seemed flat. Yeah, it's okay. Everything's okay.
I wanted to take this review where the Lou Review has never been before.
Wellington.
Thousands of feet into the air.
Oh, Mile High review.
So, I had a lot of options on what I was going to do my review on over the weekend because I was in the capital city and I tried a couple of times to break into the Beehive because I thought it would be kind of cool to see what they've got going on.
Yeah.
That didn't end too well. Didn't end too well at all. But then I thought on my way back home to here, wherever this is, PVNZ, I thought, do you know what? I'll do it right here in the plane because this is like one of the most special toilets of all time.
The plane toilet.
Do you know what I found out? The evolution of the plane toilet, fascinating. Much more interesting than you'd think. Did you know up until 1979 they just used to freeze it with this stuff called Anatech, and it often used to leak, congeal on the outside of the plane, and just fall on houses.
I did know that, and do you know
Joe
why?
Dirt?
Joe Dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in that movie, and it's also true. Between 1979 and 2003, there were 27 reported cases in the US alone, and that's just the ones the airports, the airliners admit to.
What's the story with insurance on that? Are the people insured if you get hit by a ball of shit falling out of the sky?
Guess it depends on your coverage. Not here to review insurance, here to review the crapper. So, let's roll tape. Let's
do it.
By that I mean, do we have the photos?
Yeah, we got the photos, mate. Why don't I just get this
Tim's
up?
just getting it ready.
Hey, while we're readying that, can I say, if you haven't yet, do yourself a favour and join the newly minted Facebook page, Tim Batt Lou Review.
I'll bring that up soon.
So here we go. Keep going forward. That one's slightly out of focus. Not a fan. There we go. That's a bit better.
Okay.
I've never seen such professionalism from you.
So, a lot going on, as you can see.
Yeah.
A lovely wee sign reminding you that you're not allowed to smoke there. And,
Because people are still smoking on aeroplanes.
yeah, people are old school, man. Sometimes they forget that you're not allowed to do stuff like that. But just let's just take it all in. Let's see a few more
Got
of
a few
these
more
photos.
photos?
I just
Okay,
want to get accustomed to this.
Whole door open. I mean, it's quite, technically, is that art, Tim? Does that come
Yeah,
out?
that's art. So, as always, we've got a set of criteria that we assess the toilets on, and that never changes. That's always aroma, reading, commitment to New Zealand made, innovative flush design, Wi-Fi.
So all new categories this week, except
That's
for Wi-Fi.
5, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 5.
So, let's go through it, shall we? Let's dip back into the photos.
Aroma.
Aroma, 3 out of 5, as we can see there. The plane is an interesting mix of high altitude mountain air and disinfectant and a little bit of poos, which all comes together to form something that's far greater than...
The sum of its parts.
That's the wording I was going for. I haven't slept in a few days.
Yeah, you feel, it feels like you have... Don't...
But I appreciate your help. We're getting through it, eh? This is
Trying
good.
to.
This is a good one. We should put this one in the awards entry.
Just keep you...
Next category. After aroma, reading material.
Yeah, now I've got a picture here.
Now, Air New Zealand, who I very proudly flew, their security ain't that good, and guess what? You can sneak on the domestic flights pretty easily.
Oh, aviation security is
They've got a free magazine called Kia Ora, and this is Kia Ora magazine, and it's the perfect thing for a mid-flight dump. It's just the right size. There's a lot of articles that are interesting, but you don't have to dedicate too much time to them. So whenever you want to pinch off and leave, your magazine's done as well.
I've got to jump in here. This might make me sound like a wanker, but I look at the Kia Ora magazine and I think, oh, I probably don't really want to read this. Like, it's going to be light and, oh, hell, and you're in. And then you finish them. I didn't realise it was because of that. The length is just right.
I read an interesting article about the roller derby, which I took a photo of. I don't know if you got that photo.
Mate, I got the photo.
And do you take... Do they have one just in the bathroom for general use, or are you taking your own personal issue?
There. I put them there whenever I fly. But as you know, I've got a fear of flying, so it's not often.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that and cats. They're my only two fears.
Those are your only two fears?
Yeah.
You're an interesting guy, Tim Batt.
What was the next category that I wrote?
The next category, Tim Batt, was...
Sleep deprived. Commitment to New Zealand, mate, of course it is. This doesn't change. I don't know why I would forget that. It's the same every week. So, commitment to New Zealand made. I looked around the bathroom, a Boeing 737-300, clearly not constructed in New Zealand. No. But look at this. Hand wash, made in New Zealand.
They didn't
Pacifica
have,
Organics.
They didn't have to do that.
They didn't.
More expensive, but great.
More expensive. They're under no obligation for that. That's cutting into
What
their
about
profits.
the actual toilet, the sink? Do we know where these things were made?
Europe.
Ah, I see. So we're only awarding points.
But Italy, not Germany. Germany is where you want your toilets to come from. Italy is generally where your toilets come from if it's European. If it's Asian, that's kind of... They're very good, but they're not quite as good as the European ones. Predominantly from South Korea. Or if they're really good, Japan.
Wow. So of all those...
You want a German toilet, is what I'm saying.
Okay,
you want German
I didn't
made.
know that, so now I do. That's really good. The next category.
Yeah, I'll bring that up for you right now.
Innovative flush design. Now, here's the thing about planes. They can't use a conventional flush system, which uses water to carry the waste away, using what I have termed de facto flush, because I never did physics, so I don't know what the actual term is, right? So they have to generate their own pressure on the plane, and they just suck it into a 750-litre tank, and they just hold the poo in there. Do you know that?
How did you ask a flight attendant for this information?
Ask the pilot.
Did you really?
They let me in the cockpit.
What? I thought they stopped doing that after 9/11.
Yeah, I know, but if you ask nicely...
This is after you'd already snuck onto the flight and you had the gall to...
Yeah,
it's
I know,
really
but
impressive.
Well, thank you.
Wow.
Thanks, man.
Do you know whose seat you were sitting in? Obviously someone who like
it was
to
unfilled.
show up.
No, it was unfilled.
Oh, so no one loses.
Here's the secret for
tell
viewers
us.
at home. Tim's top toilet tip of the day. If you're going to hide on a flight as a stowaway, sit in the aisle next to the door that you got to push off. What's that called again? The safety door?
Emergency exit.
Because then the flight attendant immediately comes up to you and instructs you on the protocol, and then you're in. Everyone just thinks you're totally meant to be there. You blend straight into the background. You are a kleptomaniac chameleon on a flight, and that's Tim's top tip of the day. Please join the Facebook group, Tim Batt's Loo Review. Thank you, good night.
Yeah, and, well, not yet, mate. You've still got one little segment to get through, Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi received 0 out of 5, I think, for slightly obvious reasons. But check out my ensemble tonight. Yeah.
Okay, Tim.
I reckon 5 out of 5 for fashion. Am I wrong?
We're not rating your fashion. The total, the Air New Zealand toilet got 13 out of 25.
So they will go up against Jetstar soon, which is exciting.
I'm actually doing
I thought we'd mix it up and do the plane versus an airport. So we might chuck an airport in the mix next week.
These are exciting times on the Loo Review. Tim, thank you so much for coming in and your really weird mindset, mate.
I'm going to get some sleep.
Yeah, just get out of here.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, we're going to go to a quick break. Stick around afterwards. We've got the 6th and final episode of the first season of Flat 3, including one of its stars, the lovely Perlina, right after this.